story continues, he appeared loudly announcing that he wanted to participate in the arena. Kang's group, still chasing him, came in right after. Chung, seeing the scene, commented that the kid was turning out to be much more entertaining than he expected. The next match was announced, Jin Do versus Kang and Hee. Meanwhile, Yong-ho Park, Kang's number 2, said that the losers should be getting beaten up by him right now. But another gang member warned him to keep his voice down because Chung might hear. Yong-ho replied that he knew, but it was better to be cautious. Inside the arena, Gil-soo was getting beaten badly. Kang asked if he really thought he could do anything against him, knocking the boy down with another punch. Kang said those delusions were pathetic and hit a kick to Gil-soo's chin, asking if he regretted fighting back. He remarked that if Gil-soo had accepted being beaten quietly from the start, he wouldn't be going through this now. But when Kang looked again, he noticed Gil-soo staring back with a deadly rage-filled glare. Irritated, Kang asked how he dared to look at him like that and began slapping him repeatedly across the face. He said Gil-soo needed to accept that he was a loser and that things wouldn't magically change, like in a fairy tale. Soon after, Kang delivered another kick, making Gil-soo roll across the arena. The audience commented that Kang was really strong, and even Kang himself started wondering if he had gone too far. He even thought for a second that he might have killed the boy, but Gil-soo started getting up again. Even Kang got scared. That hit should have been to knock out anyone. Feeling uneasy, Kang warned Gil-soo to take it easy, or he might end up dead. But Gil-soo, with his eyes fixed on his opponent, asked if they really thought he would die from just that. Using all the strength he had left, Gil-soo threw himself with his full weight onto Kang, knocking him to the ground. As he did, he thought that compared to everything he had already been through in life, this situation was nothing. The crowd was shocked, commenting that the Vom actually had some good moves. Kang, even more irritated, thought the kid would give up easily, but ended up being caught off guard. When Gil-soo tried to throw his first punch, Kang quickly countered, saying that with such slow hits, he would never land one. Then Gil-soo remembered Chung's words, saying that if he had no strength, he should use courage. At that moment, he delivered a strong headbutt, hitting Kang's nose and almost breaking it. The audience got even more hype, finding the fight far more entertaining than anyone expected. Chung, watching everything, thought that even with adrenaline masking the pain, Gil-soo had already taken so much damage that it was amazing to see him still standing. He was definitely resilient. Furious, Kang managed to shake Gil-soo off, throwing him to the other side of the ring. He asked if that piece of trash wanted to die, but Gil-soo, like a zombie, stood up again. He looked at the group and wondered if this was really all the gangs that had always terrorized him had to show. For the first time, the whole crowd was on his side. With all his momentum, Gil-soo charged forward like a madman, questioning why he had been so afraid of those guys for so long. But in the end, Kang finally knocked Gil-soo out for good. Before passing out, Gil-soo even apologized to Jin Do, promising himself that he would never get caught off guard again. The winner of that fight was Kang In-hai, officially declared by the referee. Later, Gil-soo woke up still inside the arena. He thought that in any case he had done it. He never had the illusion that he would win that fight from the start. He had just focused all his strength on the hope of landing at least one hit. He knew he had done everything he could at that moment. He thought that if he had kept his focus a little longer, instead of rushing in so desperately, maybe the fight wouldn't have ended so quickly. He concluded that he probably should have focused his attacks on Kang's lower body instead of charging in wide open like that. In truth, Gil-soo thought he wouldn't have fallen if he hadn't let his guard down. If he were just a little stronger, maybe he could have held on. That was when Chung appeared, asking if he was feeling better. Still lying down, Gil-soo asked if Chung was there just because of him. Chung replied that, as the student council president, it was his duty to take care of students who pass out in the arena. He said that place didn't exist to literally beat someone to death. The arena was actually created as a space to protect students. Chung asked if Gil-soo knew that all of this had been just for today. Starting the next day, his entry into the arena would no longer be allowed since he was no longer a sixth grade student. But Gil-soo determined asked what he needed to do. He said he wasn't going to quit school anymore. He just wanted to know what he had to do to get stronger. With a smirk, Chung said that training the weak was also part of his responsibilities as council president. He asked if Gil-soo was ready, and without warning, landed a punch straight into his stomach. He asked what Gil-soo thought of that. If he felt like he was dying, he said that was just the beginning, and that he would make sure Gil-soo could endure that kind of punch. As he felt the throbbing pain in his stomach, Gil-soo thought about how it all started. He remembered the slipper incident. It happened when a student accidentally hit him with a slipper and then apologized, asking if he was okay. At the time, Gil-soo just smiled and said it was fine. That's when he started exposing himself as the weakling he really was. From that moment, they started mocking him, and he became a bullying target, beaten by everyone. He became easy prey, someone who couldn't even fight back. But now, for the first time, he wanted to change. He wanted to be taught. He wanted to become stronger, too. The next morning, Gil-soo was still feeling the effects of that punch. He wondered how much strength Chung had used. It felt like something had broken inside him. When he saw Chung, he was told to meet him during breaks to continue the training. According to Chung, if he did that, he would soon get stronger. Jin Do-il, watching everything, wondered if that alone would be enough to make Gil-soo stronger. Later, Jin Do-il went to talk to him, saying he thought Gil-soo had quit school. Gil-soo replied that he had changed his mind. Jin Do-il, excited, said that was great and that he was being brave. But on the stairs, Kang and Hai's gang was already waiting. Kang asked if the punching bag had really come back to school. He said he honestly didn't expect that and asked if Gil-soo was looking for revenge. He warned him to know his place, because next time he could end up dead. Jin Do-il, who also didn't like those guys, noticed Gil-soo's expression. He was furious. Gil-soo was thinking that he needed to get stronger. Strong enough to never lose to scumbags like Kang again. Later, during break time on the school rooftop, Gil-soo was getting beaten up again, and it wasn't light. Chung told him to keep his eyes open, not to be afraid, and that he needed to look directly at his own fists. He also warned that Gil-soo wasn't allowed to fight back until the end of the training. Gil-soo wondered if this was really training. But he kept going. For several days, the rooftop training was always the same. Get hit a little, then get hit more, then get hit a lot. Sometimes Chung would hit him. Other times it was just Gil-soo suffering. The entire training was basically him getting beaten. Meanwhile, at night in the arena, Kang and Hai was winning another fight. People commented that he had become even more brutal in fights since facing Gil-soo. They said Kang's ego had been hurt, and that maybe his weakness was that infamous vomit attack. Kang, hearing the comments, approached and asked why. If they were so confident, they didn't get in the ring to fight him. As expected, the boys got scared and apologized. Kang thought that bunch of idiots was worthless. Then he asked his gang if anyone had seen Gil-soo around the arena that day. They said no, that he probably hadn't shown up. That's when Kang remembered an important detail. Well, anyone who refused to participate in the arena lost protection against violence inside the school. With that in mind, Kang started thinking of a plan to mess with those weaklings even more. Later that night, Gil-soo was running through the school campus, doing his daily cardio training. While running, he kept remembering the training sessions where he just got beaten and wondered if that would really make him stronger. He knew it still wasn't enough, but he promised himself that he would get stronger no matter what. Suddenly, a motorcycle passed so close to him that it almost hit him. Gil-soo barely avoided being struck. The rider, furious, started yelling, saying that the little punk had scratched his bike. He demanded that Gil-soo apologize, saying the bike was very important and that the repair would cost at least $20,000. He said Gil-soo would have to pay. Gil-soo tried to argue, saying it was the rider who sped by recklessly. But the man asked if he had a hearing problem because it seemed like he wasn't listening. Without warning, the rider punched him. The other bikers nearby claimed that they were witnesses and said the accident was Gil-soo's fault. The rider asked again if Gil-soo had a hearing problem. While all this was happening, lying on the ground, Gil-soo wondered what the hell was going on. Why didn't that guy seem scared of anything? And most importantly, why didn't that punch hurt at all? The rider said he wasn't joking and that Gil-soo had to hand over all the money he had. But Gil-soo remembered something. He had been getting punched by that monster for so long that now he didn't even feel pain anymore. That's when he fought back, landing a punch right on the rider's face. Even so, he questioned why he would give his money to a bastard like that. And that's the end of this chapter. If you enjoyed the recap, don't forget to like, comment which part hyped you the most, and subscribe for the next episode. See you in the next upload.